On today's episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast, we talk about pop culture references, including the new Stranger Things and The Staircase on HBO-Max.
We talk about a few of my origins, and also, if you breed positivity, you will breed a better community.
Plus, we recap the weekend's events, including the Strawberry Festival.
All that and more on this week's episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast.
Warning, this video contains adult content not suitable for children.
What's up? It's the Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Granger, and today I'm joined by co-host with the most,
Brian West, hello.
and we have a very special guest for you today. If you don't know who he is, are you even from here? We've got Matt Barlow of Barlow's Barbershop. Yay, let's give him a couple of these guys. Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I always like yeah, man, how you been? I think you've moved around more than anybody I know, man.
And it's funny because it was like, oh, you keep moving. And I'm like, well, I keep needing more space.
And that's really what it is. You guys, because I'm originally, the first time I ever went to you, you were in, over by, like, the old Kokomo Mall. You were in the little hairstylist place there.
Yeah, and actually we started before that on Apperson, beside Gold Fever. We were there for a year and a half. And
well, I remember you were there. Did you go back there again?
No.
Okay, because
that was
the first time I ever got my hair cut by you, though, was at that little hairstylist before you even got your shop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, you're talking about by the gym, inside the gym.
Yeah, it was over like
behind Starbucks out there.
Yep, that's what it was. Yep. And then you got your own shop on Apperson.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been in there too. I went in there, and then you guys moved down on Main Street.
Yep, Main Street was the next stop.
Yep, and then now you guys are on Sycamore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally, I'm like, okay, I've got a 3-year lease. We're 8-9 months in, and I'm almost out of room.
Oh yeah, already.
Well, we got the tattoo guys in the back that have their own company back there, so they take up maybe 40% of it too.
What's the tattoo company name?
Relentless Tattoo and Piercing.
Yeah.
They did my Frank Zappa. I love it. I'm in love with it. I'm going back to those guys for sure. I actually got something scheduled, but those guys are awesome too. I love being able to go in and get a haircut from Danielle and getting.
Who did your tattoo? Do you remember his name?
Adam?
Adam. Yeah.
Adam's awesome.
Which is awesome because he was a client. Relentless came in, and just shortly after it just started booming.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I need somebody else. I'm like, actually, I've got this client that's been practicing on his leg upside down.
Yeah.
And it's pretty phenomenal. And linked him up, and he ran with it. He's killing it.
Awesome.
They're both killing it in there.
That's nothing but good news. I mean, and that's like kind of shows the power of like kind of what you do in general is you kind of connect people.
Yeah.
And I mean, barbershops in general, I mean, the culture around barbershops, and I know a lot of people, will point to mostly like in the black communities, barbershops having like a cultural impact.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like you've done a pretty good job of bringing that cultural impact here, regardless of race. You know what I mean? Obviously, we still have great black barbershops in town. I know Marcus, is it Marcus Bowens cuts hair? I'm terrible with names. I know there's some pretty decent guys that do that over there. But I know we've got a good variety in town. But I know you see that truck hit the corner. Barlow's coming around,
And it's just a different vibe because, I mean, initially, you would have black barbershops, old school white barbershops, chain shops or salons. There was not a spot for anybody, everybody walk in and network and just hang out and get whatever service you want done, no matter what your hair type or what your race, ethnicity, or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, it does change a lot. Of like, that's the good thing about multiculturalism in general is we've all kind of moved together, and mostly, I mean, there's still some groups of people that obviously kind of set themselves out. But I know with a lot of what we do, check out Barlow's Barbershop. By the way, I'm gonna go and pull this up for people. This is your guys' Facebook page if you guys want to see it. And then that's the address there and the phone number. So if you guys are trying to get hooked up, call up there. You guys got some really talented barbers in there.
They really do.
And that was I think the core business model, I didn't care how many people I had in there as long as the work was super quality. Because I'm like, it doesn't matter if he, she, or them do it, it's still my name on the back of it. It's still the brand on the back of it. I've turned people away that were, could have done great things, but they weren't where they needed to be, or they didn't have our vibe
Yeah.
Or our viewpoint on just loving life and loving everybody.
And that's a great thing about you. You're building your brand, so you got to pick those people. You know what I'm saying? People, and then you'll feel comfortable to have your name on their stuff.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I get that for sure.
Sorry, guys. I got to moving the mics around a little bit. You guys will probably see that throughout the podcast. I'll move the mics around just because we've got 3 different dudes in here.
This
we've all
is
got
big,
big voices.
From the beginning, the inception of the Kokomo Press Podcast, and now this is big budget stuff Jordan's got going on.
Yeah, I've been working hard. You know, I got the Brian angle where we can't see him now because I got the microphone in a weird place.
It's easy for me to do stuff under. I like this. I like that angle more than all the other ones.
And we got this one, and then we've got the Barlow angle. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I like seeing where the growth of what you guys have done as a barbershop. I mean, like I said, I saw you from the beginning. In my head, I feel like I saw you from the beginning, like grow this thing.
No, 100%.
And I never, like, you know, you see people that have dreams and goals. Like we have goals. We've always had things going on. I don't know how many times Brian's like, look, we're gonna start our own fishing charter. Bubba gum shrimp. We're gonna do it. We always come up with crazy ideas, but to watch you, like, literally, like, you're following through, like your swing is going. You're still swinging. You know what I mean? And that's what I like to see about locally in general, and just having these institutions. You know, whether it's you know your barbershop or Barlow's Barbershop, check it out, or the Coterie or places like that kind of, you know, they not only do they become bigger and they grow and they bring people in, but they also like stick their like. You guys are sticking your fingers into like the community, and like digging in, which is good because, like I said, with Relentless in the back, you guys are doing tattoos now, and I think I've seen Relentless, the name, around 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, and it's just huge because everybody loves it, and you know, and you love it. You give good quality service or work or whatever, and then people do support you, and they don't just support what you have; they support what you are.
Yeah.
So if they love you as the person, if you do good things or a good person, then they're gonna support you 100 times fold.
Yeah, and usually people with bad business practices, they don't grow. And the fact that you guys have grown and grown and grown and gotten bigger, and you've gotten some really great talented artists. I'm terrible with names. I know I have her on Facebook, but you have a long blonde head girl. What's her name? I'm terrible.
Tess.
That's her name.
the barber.
I should remember that because of the other Tess that's around
Tess
Kokomo.
And it's funny because if you don't know Tess, if you see her, she looks like a librarian type or just your basic white girl, you know, mom jeans. But she is so talented. She is one of the best in Kokomo with black hair.
Oh, yeah.
She's insane.
Yeah.
And by looking at her, I've had clients come in, I'd book, and they're like, who's cutting? Kind of like you get to look like, the country white girl. I'm just like, trust me, sit down. They're done, and they're back. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I like to hear though, because like I know based on she's got the sharp lines, right?
Yeah,
she's the
yeah.
line. I mean, like,
designs,
that's
everything.
what-
Crispy,
yeah.
straight razor shaves.
Yeah.
You know, the old school style, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I might say some words wrong. I don't know all the lingo very well. You know what I mean? It's like she's got the lines. She's got lines, not the lines you're thinking of. It's just Kokomo.
Yeah, nothing lines. This ain't Vegas. No, I'm just kidding.
You go to Vegas.
I know, that's why I said I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
He backtracked because I've seen a lot of Barlow in Vegas videos. You go out there. You like to gamble. You like to. Is that what you go out there for? Or is it
Yeah, I like the whole vibe.
Yeah, just like the all night thing.
And I actually go out there a lot by myself because I just love it. You can be in a sea of thousands of people, and you're nobody.
Yeah.
You know, in Kokomo, a lot of times if you're a familiar face, you have to stop, talk, which is great. I love it. But after I can walk around and just be nobody and just nobody even stop and talk to me. And yeah, I like to go out to drink and gamble and just enjoy life.
Yeah, I like that. I like that concept. I mean, everybody's got to get out of here. You can love this place and still want to leave it every once in a while.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because that's one thing I learned really quickly when I was in the military is I love Kokomo. I love the town. I love the things that are like given to us here, like the lifestyle. Like it's so weird and bizarre to explain to people, but like a cherry Coke, a fountain cherry Coke is not something you can get everywhere.
No,
you can't go somewhere and they'll pump, 150 calories of cherry inside of a soda for you. You can't get that everywhere. Like when I lived in Washington State, like you could get like flavored coffees, which is great. We could have that as well here. But they had the one thing they did have in Washington State that we don't have here is topless coffee drive-ups.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Those?
My next trip, I'm going to Washington. That's it. I'm booking Washington next. I love coffee and I love topless. I'm just saying.
That's all.
Yeah, bring Brian down a little bit. Brian laughed really hard and went, woo!
I mean, but you're an entrepreneur, so maybe you can get a hold of some coffee. Maybe you can get something going like that here.
Yeah.
And honestly, at one point in time,
for it.
I worked at Studio, what was it, 520 across from the Hugger.
Yeah.
When I was young, and I'm like, why couldn't we have a barber shop attached to the Hugger? Topless girls coming in, cutting hair, and or serving drinks. That'd be just kill the whole game.
Man, imagine getting a haircut and seeing some. I mean, there'd be a lot of. You guys get a lot of those little. What are they called?
Hair splinters.
Yeah. Imagine getting one of those in your nipple though.
That's the ladies that do hair all the time. I get my bra off, But not just a haircut. Getting a topless shampoo.
That would be.
Bro, I'm saying.
That sounds like too much fun for me. I'll come in there and do some, for the ladies. You want a topless one for me? That's the one thing I might be able to do. That's one of the skills that people don't realize when they don't. If you never get your head shampooed, you don't know how great that is.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
One of the greatest feelings in the world.
Feeling.
And when you finally say, you know what, I'm gonna splurge. I'm gonna spend the extra money. I'm gonna get the full Monty today. I'm going in, and then you leave there. You're like, what? Why didn't I do this every time?
I used to do a lot of women's hair, full service salon too. We had both backgrounds, and that was the moneymaker. You can get in there and just they love it. That is the moneymaker. And same for guys.
Yeah.
Just get the head massage, getting it washed, and just the whole vibe with the full service. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and if you're hesitant, remember it's Pride Month. Nobody's going to judge you. Go for it.
Absolutely.
Go for it. Have a good time. I love it. I love that people are becoming more open with it. I do want to pull this up for everybody so you guys can see. There's this kind of right down by your shop a little bit, right? You're gonna be the Pride thing happen on Buckeye.
Yeah, no, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's right down there. Come on, check out. They're doing the Kokomo Pride downtown, and you've got a lot going on there.
Is it assume the train station? It says Sun King. Maybe.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like I know the train station or the Sun King does have.
Okay, yeah, because it's 5 blocks. It'd be 5 blocks north of Sycamore right there. So
yeah.
Train station.
That makes sense. Well, I wonder because I know they usually do a lot with Sun King with the drag shows and stuff. And then I think the same day, which I found this pretty interesting. The same day, Juneteenth celebration, a couple hours. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they're doing the Juneteenth celebration at the 3rd annual over at the Carver I think it's at the Carver Center, right? So it says. Yeah. I know it's brought to you by the Carver Center, but they're doing it there. So if you're gonna check out Pride, have a great time there. But also check out the Carver Center for the Juneteenth.
They're also earlier. It's so weird that day after that stuff's over. They're doing the QAnon rally down. They're doing the QAnon rally.
That's good.
The lock 'em up rallies
and the MAGA rallies right after that. Just keep them going. Everybody.
We are diverse in this town. That's one thing.
Very diverse. So much going on. I mean. I think that's cool in general. I've seen a lot of Tessa's work. I keep bringing her up just because I know how many people have brought her up. Like in general, just how many cool designs I've seen her do. I wish I had a couple of those to pull up because they're really good.
Actually, the one on the Facebook page that you showed, that's one of her regular clients.
Oh, up here?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
absolutely.
You can't see all. Look, let me show it. Oh, you can see it up there. Yeah, I think that's cool though. I mean, you guys are branching out. You guys are doing so much more. And then, obviously, I mean, what happened to the truck? I need to know about this. Oh, am I breaking a heart right now?
It broke. Not only did it break my heart that it happened the night before we were going to spring break. So I'm rolling through Panama City, my truck just key marks in what I assume is maybe actually a knife mark coming back and forth. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They were like, they're so jealous of that decal work on there.
I don't know. I was just like, really, I've never had an issue. I don't have issue with people in general. I love everybody. Vibe with everybody.
Jealousy,
and I'm like,
though, man.
And I'm like, really? I'm like, I would rather you smack me in the face if you got an issue, whatever in life. I don't care what it is. Then do something like that, random.
Noted. If you want to smack Barlow in the face, I'm just kidding.
Hey, for a small fee, I might let you. I'm not opposed to that.
What happened probably was you was probably mind your own business. A honey probably came up, started talking to you. The honey's man probably saw it and then got his own. You know what I'm saying?
It was something to that effect, yes. And usually, if somebody keys a vehicle, it's an emotional aspect, and it's a female aspect.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit, yeah.
Per time, and you know what I mean. And so from what my knowledge assumptions are, it was a kid, guy, or whatever.
Young guy.
That's why I say, if you got an issue, smack me in the face, and we'll work it out one way or the other. I promise. But,
or at least come to your face.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Not advocating.
Don't fight my
hit.
truck.
No, I mean, you can try to smack me in my face, but I mean, I'm just
There you go.
Just in general, be a man. Be a man.
You've done a lot with the cage fighting and stuff around here, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
actually, before I even had my barbershop, I started the Beard Butters, and then I worked with Slater and just started setting up at the shows. And the shows, and then the farmers market downtown was huge, just for the push to get the word out, get the vibe out. I tell everybody, even especially young people, entrepreneurs, want to do something, start a business. You can have the best product, service, or thing in the world, but if nobody knows, it does not matter.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely
It does
true.
not matter. So you've got to just put it in their face 24/7. And when they start talking about, I'm tired of seeing this, well, you're doing something right because you're still talking about
Exactly. And you got to whore yourself out. You really do. Like people like to sell themselves short. I have to fight. It's a demon I fight all the time, which is like over promoting myself because like I don't want to. I'm not interested in it. And I know it's like such an important part of any type of marketing is you have to over promote yourself. But I'm always like fighting the urge to like say, no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. But the truth of the matter is like you can't really over promote yourself unless you're like not taking any feedback in. You have to be doing both. I feel like it can't be a loop where you just keep posting to nobody.
You've got to have feedback. You got to have responses. You got to have, you know what I mean, just the content matter of the back and forth. You know what I mean? Because people talk, you know what I mean, comment or share, and then you don't say nothing. Like, and, you know, they feel some type of way sometimes. So no matter what it is, you gotta respond.
Oh.
You like, and you saying you go into the fights and you go into what was the other thing you did? The
Farmers market.
Farmers market.
Yeah.
Man, that just right there shows you your grind, because had you not go to those places, I mean, you know, that's where people met you, that's where people know you and stuff. And I think that's people that have small business and things, they can take advantage of that shit, especially farmers market. Farmers market's amazing, and I think that's really neat that, you know, like, you know, you were where you are now was because you were grinding in the past and shit.
We would sit out there in 90-degree weather, butters melting on ice, just to get it out there. Remember one time I had when we first started doing it, I had a 98 Isuzu Trooper.
Yeah.
Air didn't work, exhaust was coming in the window, and the brakes went out, and we're still going downtown. We're hitting curves to stop just to make it to get down there and to get that product out there. It was crazy.
And you guys have that beard butter is fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
That pineapple, what's the pineapple
Pink
one?
pineapple.
Oh, dude,
and
that's
that
the
is
best shit ever.
The number one lady's favorite. And
I
had a conversation about this with Dione, and she's like, I tell the guys, ladies number one favorite. She's like, well, what if they don't like women? I'm like, it's still the number one favorite. You know what I mean? I just put it out there, and you know what I mean. And I tell me whether. And I tell them, like, what's the best smelling? I'm like, you have to ask your woman or a guy or whoever's smelling it. You know, you may think it smells good, but if they don't like it.
Well, you smell it, and then you get used to it, right? And then the people that come up to you, they're the ones that smell it every time because they're not wearing it on their fucking face. You know, you got it right here on your beard all day. Eventually, you're going to get used to the smell. It's, you know, the same reason why a lot of people don't know they have halitosis. Talking to you. Shit. A lot of people don't know they have that halitosis because they're too busy not being able to smell it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with, like, the beard butter. And I'll tell you one thing. My girl, still to this day, like, I need to get in and get some because she tells me all the time, she's like, I need you to get that beard butter again because it's so good. It's my favorite smell, too. And I love putting it on. It actually feels really great. And then, like I said, that smell in general is just my favorite. My favorite of all. I've had a few of the different flavors that you guys. I always say flavors, like I'm eating that.
Yeah, I say flavors.
It's a good call.
Flavors. I'm like, that's just my go-to word.
Yeah, it's the right word. I think it's the right one. You got flavors is it.
I was gonna say it goes on toast well too.
Hey.
It's got more than one use.
Hey, speaking of that, we're at the fights, Coliseum Combat, and had this guy came up, and I had citrus surf. He's like, but can you eat it? I'm like, well, it's all natural. He got in, took a swipe. He's like, give me 3 of them. And left. It was crazy. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? But I made
this guy's not using it for its intended use. Like.
I was like, wow, that's different.
Dude, what if you like hear in a couple months, like he's like cooking with it and opens up a shop? Like, that's my secret. It's Barlow's butter.
Got the best toast in town.
Oh shit. Oh man, that would be funny. In-N-Out starts saying, "Hey, we need to hit you up. We're gonna put it in our burgers."
How much can you make a week?
It's Kel's secret sauce from Good Burger.
But no, I was gonna ask you. Yeah, what? As far as like we've kind of heard of, of you starting out at shops and stuff. How did you get into actually cutting hair, though? I mean, where did that come from?
I was 13, and my cousin used to cut my hair, and she moved to North Carolina and left me clippers and scissors. And I had mirror here in the bathroom, mirror back here, and I just started doing it. It wasn't pretty for a long time, but I'm like, I'm going to learn how to do it. And 15, a couple buddies. By the time I got out of high school, I cut 231 different heads, and I done straight perm and a couple other random stuff. But back then, we'd have 4, 5, 6 kegs parties, and I knew people from all the schools, so I networked, brought everybody together, and let's go. And we're halfway through drinking, like, Barlow cut my hair. I'm like, all right, $10, let's go. It just escalated.
He was like, we're going to do drinking and cutting.
I used to do a lot of that. I never had a bad haircut, but I used to do a lot of that.
Hey, so what did you get that haircut from? My blood alcohol lover was...
I woke up in Ball State and didn't remember doing 5 haircuts. Fingers cut up, wrapped up in toilet paper, but the haircuts were great.
Yeah. He's like, I made some money, too. I got some in my pocket. My
some
wallet's a little fatter.
Made some beer money.
That's a good... It's one of those trades that everybody needs, too. It's like it's a really good trade to get into if you enjoy doing it. And, as much as, obviously, you enjoy doing it. Yeah. And it's, like, so much a part of, like, when people see you and they see Matt Barlow, they're like, oh, that's the barber. And you have the perfect... Do you think that a part of you, Barlow, barber, do you think there's a part of you is like that kind of like, it kind of...
Destiny. Yeah.
It's destiny.
I think so. Like I said, at a young age, and then it made me happy then. Yeah. And it still makes me happy. And I tell people in life and whatever job they have, if you spend this amount of extra, a third of your life working and you hate your life and your job, quit.
Yeah.
And if I ever get to the point where I'm not happy, I'll still have the barbershop and run it, but I will quit and do something else. On the spot. It does not matter.
That makes sense. I think we already figured out what you're doing. Topless coffee shop.
Yes, absolutely.
It's weird to me that isn't in this town already, though, because we how many strip clubs have we had that have come and gone and come? Other than Huggard, which is persevered through the good times.
Yes, the OG.
I miss the VIP days.
The VIP, yeah.
The drinks were cheap. The girls were cheap.
Yeah.
Was that on Vale Street?
Yeah, that's where
Yes.
Divas. It was Divas.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never watched somebody get herpes before, but then when I went in there, I was like, oh, I'm watching it happen in live. Yes. Like, it's happening.
I walked in one time, and there was a short girl, 7 months pregnant, upside down on the poles, swinging. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And we left. And I probably should have stayed. It probably been entertaining, but I was like, I'm not sure what's going on right now.
And at the end of the day, I told my mom she shouldn't have been doing that while I was in her belly. I'm just kidding. No, that's
probably going to have an acrobat baby coming out.
Oh, yeah.
A little gymnast.
Baby's in there holding on for dear life to the fucking feeding tube. Like, please, God, get me out of here. Baby comes out there shaking. Oh, man, that'd be... honestly, I feel like you're already like what do they call them? Like little pods. You're in like those little pods, you know what I mean? And then like you're just in there moving around and shaking around. It has to be... it must be like twerking. Yes. Twerking. I know. I've watched many girls transition from stripper to bartender while they're pregnant, and then back to stripper.
Oh yeah.
The funny thing is as much as people give shit to strippers and stuff, like they do a service to the community. They it's like a sacrifice. It's almost like they're like and I don't mean this lightly, but it's like. It's a service sacrifice to the community because people will give you shit all day for what you've done. It's just like people that end up getting in trouble and stuff and going to jail, and then it's all because we have that busted news Howard County there, but
100%,
it's like every day now I go on that. Before I'd go on there and I'd see people I'm like, damn it, I hope they get their shit together. You know what I mean? I hope they figure this out. This is a bummer. And then now you just see people clowning all day.
Real quick, I just want to say, like, I thought you and I were funny. Those guys on Busted, they need to be paid. Those are top of the line comedians, man. Some of their one-liners. Oh wow. I try so hard not to comment on those mugshots just because I don't want somebody to like, oh, so you're one of these people. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
I shared one because of the comments. Like the comments were funny. Like it was somebody who deserved to get made fun of because of what they did in the thing. You know how that is. Some people are on there. You get a DUI. People make mistakes. You know what I mean? You get caught with weed. I don't even want to see you on there. Like if I was busted, I don't even think you should put them on there.
Right.
If somebody gets busted with weed, I'm always like, oh, so they did nothing wrong and they're going to jail. Okay, cool. And they're all over the newspaper. People are talking about them. But if I see like a domestic thing and I'm like, oh, and you know it's somebody who has anger issues, you're like, okay, you're okay with the pile on. So I shared one to the Kokomo Press page a while back, and what I found out was it doesn't share the post. Like a lot of it'll share the link.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I deleted it because I was like, I really don't want people thinking I'm piling on this person by myself. Like this is me doing it or this is the page doing it. So I was like, if I could share the comments, but I've done it before where I've screenshotted the comments and posted them just for people to see, because sometimes it is entertaining. We're all bored. That's what social media is all about. Is we want something to do when we've got nothing going on in our heads. So we go to social media and we find something to talk to. I personally just enjoy. I heart the shit out of people's stuff all the time. I don't know if you guys do. You guys likers? Are you guys hearters?
I'm a hearter.
You're a hearter.
No, I'm a hearter. Yeah.
If I see the thing and it's doing better than my post, just look the other fuck. I don't want no
Angry
part
face,
of it. Yeah.
face.
If it's got less likes than me, then I'll give it a like. No, I'm kidding.
It's a pity like. A pity like.
I do like a heart react. I'm just really bad, and you can blame it on pot brain or whatever. But like, I'm just really bad on like, I'll see something and think it's hilarious, and I'll just keep scrolling because it's like it doesn't register to like hit like a half the time. That's what I do. But a lot of times, if I am reacting, it's a hard laugh.
Yeah, I think for me, I get in these moods where I go in there and I'm like, I'm hearting everything, and I just heart everybody's. I'm like, congrats.
Your aunt died. See ya.
Yeah. Your aunt died. Good. And I'm just kidding. That's fucked up. No, but I'm like, I'll go on there and I'll just heart react things, and I'll have moments, where I'm heart reacting everything and giving people positive praise, and then I like wake up the next day and I'm like, why did I say so many nice things about people yesterday? What am I doing out here in these streets? Giving people positive affirmation.
All right, that's done today. We're going in today.
Back to hell.
Another thing I've noticed that you do that I really enjoy is you'll go to the beauty schools and get your hair cut and shit.
No, all the time.
That's dope to me, man. That's so cool.
It's like a twofold. One, they need experience.
Yeah.
And I will literally go in there, and if they don't have the tools, and some of them do that I use for my hair, I'll give them the basic, and they'll do it, and then I'll stop them, and I'll do it, and I'll show them.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for from the what am I doing versus okay, this is exactly what you do. Just the experience and the confidence behind the chair, and at the same time, it's scouting talent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not there, they don't know you. They may know of me or my shop, but if you're not networking on a personal level, and then to one, see their skills, two, catch their vibe.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have our vibe in the shop, you're not. You can be the best in the world. You're not coming in.
Yeah.
Because we've got to flow, and you've got to flow with everybody in there to the whole business as a whole. You've got one component that's off.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's over with.
It's like that table when you go to a bar and they have that one leg that's like a little wobbly, and you have to put stuff underneath it to keep it there. So yeah, that's exactly. You don't want to have to do that. You'd rather all the legs just be good. You know what I mean? That's usually the sign that the bar's going downhill. Is when you go in there and you start seeing wobbly tables. Like shit.
Like I can't get two coasters under this. What's going on?
Nah, we only got one coaster. Also, you got to share glasses. Everybody. We'll give you one bottle. Share the glasses. No, I like that though too, and I mean. As much as it's just you're in there, you're giving people experience, you're able to like offer your expertise to them. If they know you or know of you, then they know you have your own shop. You're not just a guy in there like just trying to come in there and mansplain to these ladies or men or whoever's in there like, hey, so this is how you do it. You know what I mean? You actually know your shit, and that's important. And then on top of it, it's like you said, you get to feel vibes, and maybe it's almost like a recruitment tool a little bit.
No,
like if it's somebody who's good.
100%.
Yeah, I love that you're honest about it because that's a good thing.
It is. You know what I mean? You've got to get out there and scout the talent.
Yeah, it's good, and you might meet somebody with the perfect vibe, does haircut, doing great, willing to listen, because that's also a big thing when you're in school. You got to be willing to hear.
Yeah.
Not just everybody wants to be the best. We get it, but you have to start one leg at a time.
And sometimes you got to knock their confidence down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is the shit. I'm like, no, actually not. This is what you need to do to make it the shit.
Yeah.
And you just got to give them that focus and that reality in life.
You got to make mistakes to know how to fix them.
Right.
And that's, I mean, my ex, she went to beauty school for a while, and my ex-wife did, and she'll cut my son's hair, and she does a pretty good job, honestly. Like the skills that she learned, she does a decent job with. But every once in a while, I'll see like a stray hair around the ear. I'm like, and I've kind of hammered on it with her, like, you need to make sure you get the hairs around the ears, blah blah blah, because she likes to do it. It's for her, it's for fun at the house, just doing it for the kids. And so she's gotten better and better just from me being like, I ain't gonna let you cut his hair if you don't get those hairs.
And it's constructive criticism.
Yeah,
100%. And if you can't take that in any aspect in life,
absolutely.
you're screwed. You got to be able to soak that in capitalize off of it.
Yeah, go to the review section on our page. You'll see a lot of constructive criticism.
I've got some of that on my barber page. Actually, I made a sweatshirt. I made a t-shirt and sweatshirt out of it. It says,
"Troll."
Barlow's Barbershop, home of the worst beard shop, or the worst beard trim in the world, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was an actual review.
Yeah.
And it was so bogus. And you know what? I Google researched him, and ironically, he turned out to be a youth pastor in Tipton. And he's versus, you know, I mean, this is my issue that I'm just gonna go on Google and write a crazy bogus review. But it is what it is. Nothing against the churches, but the person.
Yeah. I don't know, but I was watching that a couple of documentaries lately where I'm like, I got on a rabbit hole. I posted this on Facebook. I got on some type of mega church rabbit hole on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Where like this guy, like he's like super. Yeah, hold on, give me a second. Come in. What's up? I'm doing a podcast. These kids. Go to mom. Love you. Bye. This is what happens when you have kids. You know what I mean? It's only whenever I have Brian on the podcast too, the kids are like, hey, we want to...
You see why I'm going Kokomo Post Podcast, now, right? You see why.
Every time Brian gets in here, he comes in the door and he'll be like, hey, kids, how you doing? He'll like talk and play with them. And then then they come back and they're like, where's that guy going? I'm going to go mess with them while they're doing the podcast every time. No, it's funny because I've had Courtney like the last 2-3 weeks in here and none of the kids gave a shit. Yeah. Courtney, kids don't like you. Just kidding. She's got 4 kids. No, 3. She got two girls and a boy. Something like that. Yeah, all these kids, man. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to ruin the flow of the pod with the. I got a bunch of kids running around this house all the time. We were gonna do this at 2, and then we.
I screwed up. This was my bad. This was not. Yeah, this wasn't.
I got the 10 a.m. memo when I got 3.5 hours sleep, so I was ready to go.
He was ready to go. He's like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, baby. Let's get going. Tell me about this. What's going on with this? Is this bourbon, whiskey?
Actually, this is a Hugh Hammer, which is a Kokomo Whiskey Club, which is a local group. Brad Carney runs it.
Okay.
He plug them up real quick.
He did it's actually 123 proof, and it's actually extremely good for.
Bring it up to the camera over here.
For some.
Check this out.
Is it fire?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, if you can see that, I don't know how easy it is to see.
Yeah,
that's
and
baller.
They did a barrel pick, and so obviously supporting them. Good people, and grabbed me a couple bottles and a couple. I'm not a professional bourbon guy, but Glenn Divots or something like that. Yeah, little sniffer glasses.
It smells like my Uncle Ralph. It's good. That's good. Brings back a lot of. I like that.
Brings back a lot of something.
Yeah,
maybe I'll make a beer butter with that in. Call it Uncle Ralph.
Uncle Ralph's beer. I'm not wearing it.
Let me get to Uncle Ralph to go.
I love it though. It's like it's a bourbon, right? Is it?
Yeah, it's a bourbon. Yeah.
Oh, it's bourbon whiskey. Yeah. I'm blind.
Yep.
I was like, I thought I saw it on there. Hugh Hammer.
Hugh Hammer.
Yep. I like the name.
And what happened was, what sold me on the show, Brian's like, we're having mimosas. I'm like, mimosas, I'm there. I get here, no mimosas. So I'm like,
oh, they're in the fridge. I forgot to pull them out.
Give me 10 minutes. I'm running the house. I got to back up.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Actually, the mimosas were after the fact, but they've really locked it in.
Yeah. I actually, the funny thing is, I actually have mimosas in the fridge.
Do you?
I have like a mimosa thing. So
I had all these plans. So like I was gonna bring them. I was gonna celebrate them for my birthday, and then I woke up really late, or I didn't wake up late, but I just didn't wake up in time to go get the mimosas. So fuck myself.
I feel you.
That's right.
Yeah, Shelby was like, "You're not using my mimosas." I was like, "We might have to. We might have to go down."
Let's go.
She does. She's like, "Listen, nobody can have my mimosas." I'm like, "No, we're doing it. We're doing it." They've got these. I don't know. I'm not a big beer guy. I'll drink like I really like Crown. Like Crown's like my shit. Crown and Coke. I'm cool with that. And then, but I don't really drink like beer. So when I do drink like volume, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. I'll drink like a Smirnoff because that's just what I like. Yeah. And they have this new Smirnoff
Jolly
flavor.
Rancher.
Yeah.
Nice.
They got some good shit.
Good.
There's a new one called Pink Lemonade. Reminds me a little bit of the.
Sounds like some good kayaking drinks.
Yeah. They're like electric lemonades. They're like
nice.
I like them. Pretty. They have like a raspberry lemonade version over at Cook McDougal's that I really like too. Like this little like raspberry lemonade thing.
I love Cook McDougal's.
I know you do. You're a Cook guy.
Fucking place. Yeah. Eat there all the time. That Cooper's, Coterie. I like all those.
Yeah, the black and blue salad at Cook's insane.
Yeah, I haven't tried that. I'm eating unhealthy. pork chops every time I go. And the mash balls, what are they called? The McDougal balls.
Yeah, but if you get the blue balls, the spicy hot ones.
Oh, I've had those.
God,
little dipping sauce,
different ones. Yeah.
Different blue balls. Had those, man. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's for me anymore.
It is Pride Month or something. So
Yeah.
it's okay this month. It's okay.
Yeah, blue balls. I think blue balls, isn't that where like you like get almost there and then you don't finish?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what.
I mean, I've been there a couple times, but
listen, I love me.
never
At the
really
end of the day, I
blew.
love me enough, and I'm like, I'll just take care of it.
oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Being a fella, that's how the fellas have to do it, right, fellas? No, I was watching that new show on HBO-Max called The Staircase, and there's like, it's like supposed to be based off this actual thing that happened in Durham where this politician, his wife like died at the end of the staircase, and it was like brutal, like the way she died. So they're like, and then he got blamed for it, and then it's like the whole trial. So it's like going through the whole thing, and what you end up finding out is the dude had a secret second life where like he was gay, but it was like in the 90s, I think. It was the early 2000s. So it was still kind of like things have gotten better, obviously, in the last 20 years,
definitely.
but it was still kind of early. It's like 2001. So it's still, still kind of right after the AIDS epidemic, and people were blaming gay people for all that and everything. So it's like it's really insane. Like he's using like the internet to like meet escorts and all this stuff. And there's like so many gay scenes, and then we turned it off, and then we put on this show called Hacks on HBO-Max, which was really funny too. It's about comedians, about these two women comedians, and it's like and they go on a lesbian cruise, and I'm like, man, they're throwing the pride stuff, like they're going crazy everywhere. I was like, every show I'm watching is gay. I'm like, hey,
And then you finish it off with James Corden.
Yeah, and then James Corden. I watch Cats.
There's something else I was wanting to ask you too. Go ahead.
That's who Drew reminds me of when I think of like a celebrity. And I don't mean that in like a slight, but Drew has.
He
has
got
the James Corden
persona.
vibe, right?
He's got that persona and that vibe. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and it's nothing. I mean, because James Corden's married. Drew's married, but it's the vibe that I always got from him. Is he reminds? Don't quit laughing. Stop laughing. Brian,
no, I get it.
Don't you kind of get it though? The
Yeah,
vibe, a little bit. Like he's got the little bit of the James. Corden
I don't
thing.
think Drew does show tunes though, so we're gonna just take him out of that now.
Yeah,
he's not. Corden does show tunes.
Is that car karaoke?
Yeah, that's
that's the best.
Yeah, that's funny, dude.
best,
That shit's good. Yeah, he had a cultural. I mean, he was a comedian in London, right, in Britain. He was a British comedian, one of those guys, and he kind of came over here and started doing the show, and then the late night show, and got kind of popular and did that specific one. The carpool karaoke was like a big,
huge. All the celebrities on it and stuff.
Yeah. There was like who was your favorite one on there? Mariah Carey.
Probably the Migos was pretty funny.
That's one that sticks to my mind.
The
Actually.
Migos,
yeah, that sticks to my mind. I literally, it's crazy because I don't even have a TV in my house. I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
I was at Downey's house yesterday and watched movies for like 8 hours, which is fine, but I don't. So if I remember something like that, something I see probably on social media or something, the Migos TikTok or something like that.
Yeah.
It definitely sticks. It's hilarious.
You don't have a TV though?
No.
Really? I mean, obviously you can afford 5,000 TVs, but just personal choice.
I have a TV in my ex's house, which I haven't got, but that's a whole nother.
Honestly,
That's a whole other episode.
You have a computer?
No,
like a phone.
I've never.
You have a phone.
I have a phone. I've never owned a computer. No.
Yeah, he's like, I watch my smartphone. I spend more time on my phone than I do anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like computer, phone, iPad. Like I've got so many, but a lot of it's has because I do all this stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm like, I got to be able to like keep up. But I mean, even then, like I'll watch like one episode. I used to be able to binge. Now I'll watch one episode and I'll look at my girlfriend and I'm like, or a fiance, and I'll be like, listen, I'm done. She's like, I want to keep going. Like the only thing that we binged recently was the Stranger Things. That shit was lit.
I've seen the first 2 seasons and it was great. And then she told me, oh, the third one's out, and I really wanted to buy one of Max's bikes.
Oh yeah.
They're insane. The yellow Mongos, and just hang it upside down in the shop, just because it's so iconic of the series.
Yeah, that show in general. I mean, the fact that it's set in. I mean, I put a joke on Facebook about it's set in Indiana and it makes sense because it's like the demonic hellscape is underneath in the Midwest. It's funny because somebody posted a map of where Hawkins would be, and it's like Gas City.
Is it
so
really?
That's where they said it would be like where Gas City is.
Oh wow!
So it's actually you see Kokomo, boom, and then it's like Hawkins would be right here, and then it's like Marion, like right over here. So it's like technically we'd be right next to it if it was a real place, but it's not.
I didn't even know. That's sick. I thought Hawkins was like a real.
Yeah. Dressed up like a Demogorgon.
I just thought like the town was
Gas
actually
City fucking shit up.
I'm a Demi Jordan. I'll just run through. Just a big me. I'm just kidding. No, those Demogorgons are freaking cool. That the new season though, I binge watched the whole thing, and then they're doing like a volume 2 of it.
And I googled it because they were watching it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to Google it just so I had some content to communicate back and forth with it. And I think the last 2 episodes are like 2 hours or 2 point some hours, something like that. Long episodes.
Yeah, that's like the ones you're talking about the ones they're gonna come out with.
Yeah, the volume 2 or whatever.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like 2 movies. It's like basically like 2 movies.
Yeah, it's insane.
This ends it all, right?
No, they were supposed to. That's what I was like talking to Shelby about. I'm like, man, they're supposed to end it here, but then there's talks there's gonna be a 5th season. Which, I mean, I get it. It's a good show. Like, it's actually decent.
You're on top with it. I mean, keep going.
Yeah, I get it. Because, I mean, like, the kids got older now. They probably do want to do other stuff.
Yeah.
Those kids, I mean, all of them are super talented. They've all been in so much shit.
But then they get a 5th season, they see that paycheck, like, oh, okay, let's run this back real quick.
Yeah.
One more season.
More.
I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but Millie Bobby Brown, she actually got casted to do the Bobby Brown biopic. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if she's doing blackface. I don't know what's going on.
What's going on there? James Corden's playing her dad.
James Corden. I don't know if this is off base. If it's a weird question or not, but I was wondering this the other day, and I was thinking about it. Does the Miami County, does the prison, do they have any programs for like barbers and things like that?
They just
the local
in
one?
The past couple years brought back the barber program. They had it forever. Good. I mean, you could, if you had a certain amount of time, you could have enough time to take that and get time knocked off.
Yeah.
And then they stopped it for whatever reason.
COVID?
No, it was prior to that.
Funding.
It was a couple of years before prior. They just did away with it.
Yeah.
And then they brought it back.
Good.
That's so good. Shitty, man. Like that's such a positive thing that they could be doing, and like it's keeping people out of trouble, giving people a means of living when they get out.
A skill.
If you have a skill set when you walk out the penitentiary doors, it's huge versus coming here. Okay, I need a job. I can't find a job. Okay, I've got some sort of accreditation for whatever it is, and to be able to get in the workforce, and that's usually 90% of the battle. If you want to do right, it's getting a job, getting employment, getting money, getting on your feet, and getting the resources to better yourself.
Yeah.
And Kokomo's done a huge job in the past few years, especially with the addiction aspect.
Yeah,
which is good. The help factor.
Yeah.
Not just lock them up.
Yeah.
Well, it don't matter.
It's something that we've hammered on personally on the page that we always get, because this is one thing that we always bring up is that we got the Narcan over here and everything, but this is the season for it.
No,
it gets warm outside. The people that that have abuse issues, addiction issues, they'll go out and they'll start. I'll just stay in a tent. I'll stay outside. It's nice enough. I can stay outside, so they don't need to go to the places that make you be sober, and then they fall back into these holes, and then you see people OD, and ODs go up every summer. We know this. This is facts, which is one of the reasons why we push a lot of awareness around here, which is like we can do as many nice things as we want. Like it's completely sidebar, but I just enjoyed the Strawberry Festival. It was beautiful down there. I had a great time at the Strawberry Festival. I know your shop's right down there, where everything on the square. So I mean, I was down there, and it was a great festival. And I love that the city puts money in. I know that's like kind of like a First Friday thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a thing, but at the same time, that's great. It's great. But we also need to make sure we are allocating. And like you said, the city has done a lot more recently, even with. If you take the drug aspect out of it, with the work program they have, the work release program, that's been something they've hammered. Like
the work release and drug court and reentry is huge. Yeah. Because Judge Minges, and people love him and hate him.
Yeah.
But if you understand the process behind what it is, he's giving you the opportunity.
Yeah.
He may let you come home 4, 5, 6, 8 years early. But then it's your choice.
Yeah.
But they've got a lot of networking in place, you know what I mean? Okay, whether it's housing or jobs or this and that to help you to do that. But, I mean, until you want to do that, whether it's do right from criminal society or do right from addiction, it doesn't matter. Until you mentally like, I'm done.
That's huge.
It's go time.
Well, that's huge in general, just because you have to have the opportunity. There has to be a means. Like if you don't have a route, if there's not an avenue to go down to get back, then what are we doing? What are we doing other than punishing people for getting sick? And that's how I look at it, is like it really comes down to that. Like, we have to make sure that we have ways for people that want to get back and be productive members of society to be able to make it back. Because a lot of times, you know, you fall down the rabbit hole, and like, you just really need somebody to throw a rope down there. You just need somebody to throw a rope to help you up. You know, maybe somebody to help, you know, throw it down there, tie it under you, and get a bunch of people to pull you up. Yep. And the system is supposed to do that. And if the system is going to keep abandoning people to the point where they can't figure it out, then it makes things difficult in general for people just to get back. So I like the fact that the city has kind of stepped up in the last few years, even with the work release program. I know there's a couple of new addiction centers that have popped up around the house, just next door, right next door to me. I know a lot of people were bitching about that. They were trying to get a rehab facility, and people didn't want it next to a school, and then people didn't want it.
Dude, huge George Carlin fan. They had that big documentary. Did you watch it?
I watched half of it.
I love it, and I remember this bit, but he touched on that. He's like, I forget what he calls it, but basically everybody wants to help somebody out until it's too fucking close to them. He's like, you're going to help out addicts? Whoa, they're living right next door to me, so go ahead and X that out. And that makes perfect sense. Everybody wants to be on the team and help someone out until it affects them.
Until you get your hands dirty. Until you got to get in there. Whether it's a facility besides your house or actually physically just getting out there and helping somebody.
Yep. It's hard. I get it. Especially with this town, like, honestly, with, you know, the Widener Clinic and how that kind of destroyed a lot of people's lives. Like, we all know the story about, you know, they're just giving out oxys like they're Skittles, and then people get addicted, and then they say, well, we're not gonna, you know, there's regulation. This is we're not gonna give them out anymore. Like, they're basically, it's hard as fuck to get them. You can't get them now. Like, and I mean, they were, at least as we know now, and I'm not saying it's good, but they were the safest version of what you're getting compared to now, where people are out there having to go into getting into that Ronnie, and then they get into it, and then it's, you know, laced with fentanyl, and then it's like, oh, here it is.
And that one catalyst spurred the heroin addiction in Kokomo.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Okay, we're shutting down the pill mill, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
What's your option? We're going to the streets, and the heroin is the, I don't want to say best, but the next best thing for what they're looking for.
Like moms,
skyrocketed.
Like middle-aged moms who had nice jobs, working in, you know, had decent jobs, taking care of their kids. Now all of a sudden they've got this addiction they didn't even know they were getting, because they were getting this from a doctor, a guy, gal, whatever, a person that they thought, this is a professional person. They're giving me because I need these. I'm not just addicted, but I need them because they're saying that I need them. They're giving them to me. They're whatever. And then they take it away. And it makes sense in general, like, to be like, okay, well, let's shut the valve off. You know, anytime you have a plumbing problem, let's shut the valve off. But what you're forgetting about is there's another one over here that's pipe that's bursting that you're ignoring. And that's ends up happening. Everybody ends up going over there. And it's a pain, you know, but the fact that the city is making, you know, decisions that are actually trying to, you know, fix it and rectify the issue is what we really have to focus on. We have to get people caring about that kind of stuff, and not just caring about, we don't want to see it, we don't want it to exist as much as it does. Not just see it, because a lot of people want to push it out of the optics. We don't want to see it downtown. Let's push it out here, get it away as far away from us as possible, but it's still there, you know. And I've seen a lot of people recover in the last few years, especially, I mean, during COVID, you would think more people would fall victim to it. And I know there's a lot, I mean, anytime the summer hits, you have a lot of ODs, and it's sad. But I know, as far as, you know, recovery and Narcan being available, like I said, there was a program that we had at one of my shows where they basically will train you in how to use Narcan if something pops up like that. So I think it's important that we have these situations. Plus, you know, we need to legalize weed.
Yeah, that is the dumbest.
Oh man, I'm so over it.
Friggin' thing ever. I mean, every state almost around us, and we're Indiana. No, we're Eli Lilly, so we're still stuck in this rut.
I tell people that all the time. Like, I don't know how we're ever gonna legalize weed because of Eli Lilly, and that's 100%. Sad.
100%.
It's sad that that's the reason, and we all know it.
It would be a bigger deal if I wasn't ingesting it every day. If I had to, like, sneak over across enemy lines to grab it, but it's another day at the office for me. So.
Did you watch Saving Private Ryan this week too? I watched Saving Private Ryan, and I was like, Shelby and I were like, let's put something on before bed. I'm like, Saving Private Ryan. It's Memorial Day weekend. Last weekend I put it on, and it's like, oh gosh, she's like, there's so much blood. Meanwhile, we're both high as a kite, like, watching all the blood on D-Day. I'm like, yeah, this probably wasn't the right choice. Not a good decision, you know, watching people climb over bodies in that movie. Yeah, you know, it's a touchy, you know. I understand, like, obviously we want to legalize. I'm pro legalize everything. I'm weird, And the reason why I think you should legalize it is because when you make things illegal, you stigmatize it. When you stigmatize it, you make people do it secretly. And when they do it secretly, they die.
Yes.
And it's like we've talked a lot about, about not trying to get people addicted, but I think the first level of resource is to make it available safe so that people who are going to do it don't die from it. And then you give the education, you know what I mean? So if you let's say you have an addiction to, let's switch it over. Let's say you have an addiction to methamphetamine. Okay. And there's Adderall available or like Vyvanse or something. If you went to a clinic in town and the clinic gave you Vyvanse or Adderall, and then they're like, you take it once a day or whatever. You have to come in, you take it in front of them, they monitor you, they give you a pamphlet, they tell you, we're going to try to get you off this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? If they did all that, you know what I mean, and they gave you the resources, you could come back and get the same dose every day. You could keep doing what you're going to do. But at the same time, there's money that goes into it, so people do get paid. So it's not just street people getting paid. You know what I mean? People that are killing people, fentanyl and all that shit, and lace and everything. And it's safe, and you can actually educate people, and people will learn. And you know what I mean? It's like there's so many ands that are so good that I can never understand why drugs aren't just legal and safe. Like legal and safe is more important than anything. I mean, we've always talked about that with like everything else. Sex. Everything. It needs to be safe sex, safe drug use, everything. Because people are going to do what they're going to do.
No, 100%. Yeah,
they are. They're just going to do it. If they want to do it, they're going to do it.
And a lot of times, with the younger age demographics, high school, they do it because it is taboo. It's bad. It's illegal. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to try this because I'm rebellious. So a lot of times, if some things were legal and open and. They might not even get into it and go down that rabbit hole of addiction or whatever. Or
I know when I was stationed in Italy that you were able to drink. They didn't really. They had laws that said you're not supposed to. They didn't drive till they were 18, but they were able to drink at 16.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like these kids were like, I'm gonna party, get drunk, and get like a, like when I was younger, at 16, 17 years old, we were like trying to find the town bum that would go buy us like some McCormick's, like a half
Crow.
because that's what you could afford. Everybody threw in like $2-3 a piece. You get some McCormick's and everybody gets super hammered.
Got $10, I'm getting a half gallon. Let's go.
Yeah, but if you were just hanging out with your parents and had a glass of wine every once in a while, you might be like, I don't want to get drunk because I can have a glass of wine, get a little buzz, and be fine at 16. And I'm not necessarily saying I think 16-year-olds should be getting drunk. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying immersion is what matters. If you're around it and the stigmatization is what the problem is. When you make it like, don't do it, and then you have one person that's doing it and they're fine or they seem fine. We all have social media. We know a lot of people that are doing terrible, but if you go on the social media, they're doing amazing. They're having the greatest life they've ever had.
Right.
We all know what optics looks like. We know what stigmatization looks like. So like to me, it's like the destigmatization of it and making it so that people are able to do it safe and able to, I just want Adderall. That's all I'm saying. I just want Adderall.
Yeah, the legal drinking age might be 21, but the real drinking age, people 15 or 16 start
if not younger, depending on certain communities.
It's always like, it's just one of those things. Like, maybe there's some people that wait till they're actually 21 to drink, or 19 or 20. But like you're experiencing and trying things at 15 and 16, doing things like that,
testing boundaries.
Testing.
And if it wasn't stigmatized, I feel like it wouldn't be as cool of a boundary to test. It's just like you being excited to. Nowadays, kids aren't even excited to get their license anymore. Some kids aren't even excited. That's weird to me.
My son, he was 21.
Yeah.
And the only reason he got it because his permit was going to expire. He'd have to do it again. He was like, fuck, I'm going to go get it. He had no aspirations. And so many kids are like that. But I told him he lives 4 blocks from the shop now. So I'm like, don't buy a car just to buy a car and have insurance. I mean, he skateboards to the shop or walks. I mean, it's not a need.
Right.
I'm a pretty minimalist person on a lot.
But if you want to
of
leave,
life.
we do live in the United States. If you want to leave and go somewhere cool, you need a vehicle.
No, 100%. Yeah.
That's honestly, I think that's the selling point we have to get to young kids. It's not like your town necessarily, because you can get everywhere around here pretty easily. But I mean, like if you want to make it to Indy, you're going to need a truck. You're going to need a car. You're going to need something.
He's got a couple buddies in their vehicles, and they pile up and go. But
he's mooching. He's like, give me a ride. I'll give you some nowadays, you give me some gas money, I don't care. I'm already paying enough. I mean, gas hit over $5 a gallon, and I was like, "What the shit is going on?"
Yeah,
dude?
if you give me $5 for gas, you're getting a gallon out of me. I'll take you where a gallon. I got it, and then I'm dropping you off there.
$5 for gas used to be a couple gallons.
I'm gonna need $5 just to get back to where you're going back.
I'm gonna need you to cash up me the $5 before I even get there. Yeah, and I'm gonna drop you halfway. Oh, I'm gonna get like. You remember when you get in a taxi and the thing would just keep rolling? That's what you do with the fine.
Up meters up. No, you really got to get out now.
You've got to get the hell out of here. Yeah, I've when I was in the Navy, we'd have the meter going, and I've never, you know what I mean, something you see in movies.
Yeah,
you know, from here, I don't really ride in a taxi. I'm from Kokomo. We just rode bikes everywhere or whatever, rode our car. So when I was in the Navy and I have places where I didn't have a car, and I'd see watching that thing tick, you're like, I was the most nervous I think I've ever been. I'm like, oh, having a kid, fine. Watching that thing tick, and I'm like, oh, it's going up more. All right, $7. $8? Are you kidding me? Nowadays, it's like
did he just do like 8 laps around the same block?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
If you don't know where you're at, you don't know.
No idea.
Like, which door are you taking? I've been by them. I was like, give me a ride to the mall. I've been by the mall for 20 minutes. He's just been circling around the neighborhood. It's like, kidding. I'm like, it's a weird snake direction you're taking me. No, when I went to Fort Lauderdale, took the lady to Fort Lauderdale, got engaged and everything. And while I was down there, we were taking like Lyfts and Ubers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And just, with them, it's a flat fee. You know what it is before you start. So, which is fine. But watching, them trying to find their different routes. I got kicked out of a Lyft because this Asian lady picked us up. Did I tell you this, Brian?
No, you didn't.
Okay, this Asian lady picked us up in the Lyft, and Shelby and I had just had a dinner, and I was gonna like propose. So like we went with dinner, and then we were gonna go back to the Airbnb, and then we were gonna go somewhere, and I was gonna propose. So I was like feeling great, like this is gonna go well. So we had this really fancy dinner, and we had a great time. We get to the Lyft, we go back. The Asian lady picks us up. She seems nice. She seems great. She doesn't know, like, she's having a problem parking. She can't get around the parking lot, which is. It doesn't do much for Asian drivers, but that wasn't the, who knows. But she's like having a rough time. So she picks us up, gets in the car, and before we get in the car, Shelby's hitting her vape. She's got a Views. I don't know if you've ever seen these little Views. Yeah. There's no smell.
No.
There's no smell. There's no. It's a tobacco. It's
really
literally the flavor is rich. It just goes away. She smokes in the house, and I have no problem with it. She's like, but she goes places and she goes outside because she doesn't want to affect them. I'm like, there's no smell. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And I would be able to smell it because I can't stand the smell of like tobacco and stuff. So she hits this thing outside, and then we get inside the Lyft, and we're driving. She drives us, and then she just pulls really quickly onto a side road and is like, no. I didn't understand her because I'm from here. Most people we just sound like a little bit Midwestern drawl. We don't have a lot of cool accents. And I'm trying to listen to what she's saying, but I can't understand. But she goes, get out. And I was like, get out? Why? I was like, what's going on? She's like, no, you're smoking illegal drugs. And we're like, illegal drugs? Like, bro, we've been trying to get weed the entire time we've been down here. We don't have it. What are you talking about? I got this like Delta O shit. It doesn't even work. It's like, it just makes me tired. But she did. We were in the car, and she saw her smoking before we got in and thought that. But there was no. She was like, it stinks. It stinks. That's what it was confusing about me. I was like, is this racist? Do we stink? Yo, stinky white guys, get out of here. No, but we got out of the car, and then like we started walking towards the neighborhood. There was like a bunch of like houses. I'm like, no, we walk towards the busy road. We don't. Yeah. So this is I've seen too many first 48s for this to happen. It's like we got to walk towards the busy road. So then we went and got another Lyft, and I was like, I'm no longer. I ordered like the cheap Lyft that one time, because we were just running to the house. I was like, no, I'm going back to Lux Black or whatever. I was like, I need the black. Everybody else is picking me up in like Mercedes and shit. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. So many nice cars down there.
Yeah,
you been down there?
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh man, BMWs, fucking Mercedes, Teslas.
Yeah.
I was like,
went to Miami about a year ago, July.
Yeah,
flew to Fort Lauderdale and had about a half a day to kill. Went kayaking.
Yeah,
went to Miami and rented a car. And I was like, fuck, that's the last time I ever fucking rented a car in Miami. There's no point driving or even trying to park down there.
It's good to know.
Yeah,
I like hearing that.
Yeah, definitely walk or get an Uber.
Yeah. I learned
traffic.
quickly.
Yeah,
just traffic for it. Fuck that.
Yeah, just back to back, and it was, I think, a Challenger or something, whatever they gave me, and the roads are pretty tight. You got cars parked and everything, and it's just, if you're on, we stayed at La Fontaine Bleu, so if you're on that right there on the beach road, whatever it is, just bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
You're just trying to navigate.
Just being in the Lyfts and the Ubers, I learned pretty quickly that I'm like, man, it's probably better. We walked a lot.
And they know the routes.
Yeah.
Well, most time they
yeah.
do. And they know where
you hope.
You go. Yeah, versus trying to navigate yourself, even with GPS.
Yeah, I'd never used Lyft or Uber till I went down there because I've never really. Everywhere I go, I have a car. I always go everywhere with a car. I usually drive or I'll rent a vehicle. And so this is the first time I used it. But I had a lady at work named Shawana, and she was like, Lyft or Uber, do not get a car. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, I swear, you're not gonna regret it. Blah blah blah. I was like, all right. So I believed her, and she was absolutely right. It was the right way to go. I'm like taking a lift. If you get in the car and Brian's your driver, go ahead and get out. He's gonna charge you
Get in one
extra.
door, just get out the other door. Keep it moving.
Just keep moving. That's what. But yeah, I got kicked out of a lift in the middle of. I was like, "We're not from here," and this lady kicked us out of the lift. I was like, this is
I'm
awesome.
kicking if I'm halfway through the ride and you guys aren't smoking weed in the back. I'm kicking you out. Get out. I don't like you. Get out of here.
I don't know how many people I had talked about. This was the only person I didn't bring up weed to because I was trying to get kind of hint to somebody like, does anybody have a plug? Like, this is the only person I didn't have it, and I was like, of course, this is the one person that kicks me out for weed. I was like, we don't even have anything. I was so bummed out. I was like, there's no smell to this, and she didn't even smoke it in the car. It was before we got in. The lady just did not like us at all. I could tell it was like a vibe thing or something. It's like she's like, I don't want to pick up these people.
Yeah, I'm not too prideful, especially if I'm in somewhere that foreign to me. I don't know where I'm at. I'm just asking, hey, do you guys I'll give you extra money. You got a little pot. I just take a joint. Like,
I think they have medicinal down there, right? Is that all they have?
I think they do actually now.
Yeah, I think that's all they have.
It is, but it's like I think it's like still pretty strict.
Yeah,
like you got
it's strict. It's strict. I was on the beach. They were doing we showed up and they were doing an air show, like a bunch of like Blue Angels and shit, which I didn't know they were doing that, which was pretty badass. And when we got down there, we were watching all that, and there was some people smoking, and I was like, I got to do it. So I went
just
up and
gotta
I was
walk
like,
up and
it's like,
like,
hey, and he was like, hey, and I was like, do you have a plug? And he's like, no, man. It's like, you don't? And he's like, no, I got it from somebody. It had been passed down the beach, bro. I was like, whoa, man, why didn't it get passed? And it was like at the end. I was like, this is the worst.
I kind of just nose hit it like mushy one time.
Let me get like one. Let me get That's when we walked back to the hotel and got burnt. And then when we walked back to the like Airbnb, when we walked back, I found like a place that had that Delta L. I was like, I guess we'll try this. Just made me tired.
I'll just piss you off.
Yeah, that's what it's so weird.
Have you guys did the Delta 8 or the Delta 10 or any of that?
Yeah, and it was crazy because actually another plug, Alan Davison, Greener Side Gardens in Roosevelt, processes and makes a lot of that and does a lot of that with the hemp out there.
Hell yeah.
And I don't do anything during the day.
Yeah.
I don't go to work or nothing. And one day I was at home at lunch. I was tired, so I had a Delta 8 or 9, one of them. And I hit it, got in the shower, hit it again. I'm like, ooh. Not high, but just a little bit of off vibe, and I was like, it ain't my vibe.
Yeah. It ain't for me, dude. I did it. It just made me feel weird.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Yeah, 100%. I'm like, cutting hair. I'm like, I'm not in the zone to cut hair.
It's like you know when you like smoke and then you smoke real weed and then you get a little bit paranoid, but you also are high and you feel great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like they just gave you the paranoid part.
Yeah, I don't fuck that.
Yeah, Ryan's like, fuck.
I've never. Yeah, I've tried it. The
Delta.
I've actually I took the flour, the Delta 8 flour, it's just flour, and I like grinded it down like how I would, and I swear I packed like a big old rip in a bong. Nothing. Just like nothing. Not even like. I didn't even feel like. I don't know. It pissed me off because any like putting combusting your lungs, anything like that's gonna fuck your lungs up anyway. So even if it's Delta, it's still not good for your lungs because you're burning it and putting it in your lungs. So if I'm gonna burn and put something in my lungs, I'm gonna be zoinked.
Make it worth your while.
Yeah, make it worth your while.
I just burnt my lungs for no reason.
Yeah, here I am feeling like shit for absolutely no reason. Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on, Barlow. I really do, man.
I appreciate the invite.
Dude, I love it. I love having you on. We got to get you on again. When we get an event going or something.
Whenever you let me know and make it happen. Definitely.
I was happy. Brian was like, "Oh, we should have Barlow," and I was like, "Bro, I never even thought about hitting that guy. He does everything, man. He'll come on. He'll come hang out with us."
You were one I wanted to get on here. Kyle Gibson. I'm still waiting on a response from him. There's a couple guys. He told me just let him know when. Did he?
Yeah, when I talked to him. So it's cool. There's a lot of you guys you guys do so much for the community, man. It's like we want to have you guys on here because we care. Like we do a lot of artists and stuff that come from the community come on here. And obviously
I see Mozzie up there on the poster.
We have the Cole Porter people. They came through. They do that. Have you heard of the Cole Porter Festival? Yeah. I've never heard of it.
I've never been there, but I know of it.
It's crazy. I was like, I've never even heard of this shit, and it's like this huge art festival they have about this guy that's written so many great songs. I have his music in my iTunes.
I don't know if it was jazzy or bluesy.
Yeah. Well, it's like Broadway jazz. Yeah.
Is that what I know? Some vibe like that. Yeah.
Like Night and Day, you are the one. Yeah. Or like I get a kick out of you. Like those. It's like old like Michael. Nowadays we all like Michael Bublé, Frank Sinatra. That's the vibes we get. Dean Martin. But back then it was like that was their shit. It was like these are our songs, you know. But I appreciate you coming on here, bringing the Hugh Hammer.
Yep.
You said Brad Carney?
Brad Carney, Kokomo Whiskey Club.
Yeah, check him out, man.
Check it out, Facebook group.
He's an Army guy, right?
No, he does.
He was in the Army? Brad?
See, we went to high. I don't know. It's the same same Brad we went to high school with.
I think it is.
Is this little dude older? Or?
No, but he's probably a couple years older than me, maybe 2 or 3. Dude,
Yeah.
he has
So
a,
It ain't the carnies we're thinking.
Well, it ain't the carnies we know.
Monroe Construction, and his wife's a realtor. And he's got his own side stuff on the side
Baller.
or whatever.
Yeah.
There's more than one Brad Carney around here.
Yeah.
Shout out to both of them.
Yeah, the carnies we know runs the laundromats.
Yeah.
No, different
Brad and
Carneys.
Justin
Gotcha.
Carney. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the Carney that I know that was in the
I was
Army.
like-
So I'm like Brad, we got 2 Brad Carneys around here. We got all. We've only got 1 Matt Barlow though.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
check him out. Go
You only
downtown.
got one bearded bastard.
Bearded hey man, I got a beard too. Let's check this out here. Let's go ahead and check him out. Sycamore Street downtown. If you guys need a haircut, call the number here.
Tessa's doing the fades and designs.
Yeah, come in there, see
Tessa,
all the
right?
good shit.
Yeah.
Tess.
Okay. Yep.
Tess, yeah, not
If you come in and you want your nose hairs waxed, as long as we can videotape and put on social media, we will do it for free because it is hilarious.
You're gonna get a whole
Hilarious.
gaggle of people coming there getting their nose
It
hair.
sucks, dude.
I've
You
had,
guys' TikTok is lit too. You guys always have cool shit.
it's
on
just
there.
random. I just do this.
I
shit
know, I
random.
love it,
Just
though.
random. Like, what is that? I'm like, I don't care. You know, there's no format.
I
There's
suck
no,
at TikTok.
no stuff.
but it's
and
one of the
I
few
just-
ones I enjoy.
I just do random stuff, and that's my fun outlet.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoy. Just random shit on TikTok.
I love it, dude. Yeah, anyway, so thank you guys for checking out the Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Granger, and as always, I'm joined by co-host.
Brian West.
And we had Matt Barlow. Mark Barlow.
Mark
Mark
You can call me
Barlow.
what you want, I'll answer
Matt
anything.
Barlow. Barlow's Barbershop. Check him out. We love you guys. Thank you guys. 2 kisses. Woo. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast. We really appreciate you. Check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on all the social medias you can find us on. Or, if you want to, listen to us on Spotify, Apple, or, of course, our full video podcast is located on YouTube, the Kokomo Press. Don't forget about us. We won't forget about you. We love you. 2 kisses.